Wom, 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 wom. One man in a world of chaos and confusion would rise above them all and save the world. Introducing Ali the Prodigy in Ali. All right, let me stop. All right. What is good? Welcome everybody to the latest installment of Ali. This is Ali episode 3, and today's question of the day is are we living in a simulation? Now, as you know, with this show, I like to ask questions and I like to hear your answers. So, as we typically do it, I will give my 2 cents and then I will open it up for the Discord to give me whatever input that they have. Thank you to everybody that's in the stream so far. I appreciate you guys being here. Listen, this is not an easy question to answer. I actually think about this all the time. And I feel like ever since I was a kid, I actually considered the fact that I may actually be living in a video game. I don't really know why, but I think it's mostly to do with the fact that I was really into games and I sort of had this sort of instinctual feeling that maybe me and these video games weren't as far removed as I initially thought. Because I would play as these characters in the game, like let's say I'm playing as Mario in Mario 64. I'd play as these characters and then I would wonder, what if in some weird way Mario really believes that he's doing what he's doing right now, except I'm the one controlling it and he has no idea. What if when I turn this game on, I start the universe essentially, and what if when I turn it off, it just goes off? They would never know the difference, and they would never know that they're being controlled by an outside force like me. And then I thought, holy crap, what if that's happening to me? How do I know that I'm the author of my actions? Because there's this guy, his name is Sam Harris, and he talks about stuff like this. He talks about the notion of free will and how free will actually is in fact an illusion. That's his stance on it. And he basically says, he argues that the reason why we think we have free will is because a lot of the time we don't realize that our actions are purely dictated by all these things that we don't even realize that are going on in our brains. So, this brings me back to the question, are we living in a simulation? Honestly, I would have to say that chances are, if you were to play the odds together, chances are there's maybe like a 99.9999% that we actually are living in a simulated universe. And I'll tell you why. I don't think it's called Fermi's paradox. There's the simulation theory. So let me look this up before I sound stupid. I just want to make sure that I get this exactly correct. So the simulation argument, let me tell you what it says here. A version of the simulation hypothesis was first theorized as part of a philosophical argument in the part of René Descartes. So skipping beyond that, essentially these are the 3 things that only one of them needs to be true in order for this to actually be real. His argument states that at least one of the following statements is very likely to be true. 1. Human civilization or a comparable civilization is unlikely to reach a level of technological maturity capable of producing simulated realities, or such simulations are physically impossible to construct. Meaning, is it even possible to create simulated reality? That brings us to the next point, which is this civilization in the future wants to create a simulated reality. If this is true, then that means most likely we are in a simulated universe. If it's not true, then I guess we're not. And 3, any entities with our general set of experiences are almost certainly living in a simulation. And yeah, ultimately, only one of these statements really have to be true in order for it to be a reality. And the fact is, even if one simulation started, with an entire reality surrounding it, that would mean that a majority, if not almost all, of life in the entire universe is simulated. There's a video that neatly describes this by Kurskisa. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's this really hard name to pronounce. Are we living in a simulation? There's this YouTube channel that like illustrates this point perfectly in about 9 minutes. I'm gonna link this in the chat for you guys. It's by a channel called Kurzgesagt in a nutshell, and the title of the video is Reality Real? The Simulation Argument. So I'm going to post that for you guys here. I'm also going to post it in the Discord. And speaking of Discord, I just want to remind you guys, if you want to call in and give your 2 cents, if you want to answer, please feel free to do so. I will have Siri time us as well, you know, because I got an iPhone now. But anyways, so I'm going to post it in Discord real quick. I'm going to put it in the Defeat Your Mind channel. And yeah, honestly, when it comes to me, I would say that there is a very strong likelihood that we're living in a simulation, in a simulated reality. I actually am kind of fully convinced, because there's this very long video that sort of illustrates that point as well. It's like 40 minutes long, but basically it talks about how, even like from a scientific point of view, when it comes to how our universe is pixelated and how it's arranged and how it's structured, that it could very well be made by what is it, a quantum computer or quantum computers of sorts. And the thing is, if we really were able to create a simulated reality, then that would be our proof right there. Oh yeah, I was going to use The Matrix to give an example. I think one of the biggest reasons why it kind of confirmed in my head what I believed was watching The Matrix. And I actually realized, like, yo, like, the truth is, I really don't know if anything around me is real in the first place. I really can't prove it. I honestly can't. The only thing that I can do is go along with it and hope for the best. But as far as things being really real or not, there's no way to actually prove that things really, really exist. And it's a really interesting argument, honestly. So, are we living in the Matrix? I'd have to say, most likely, yeah. But as with this show, it's not all about me. I want to hear what you guys think too. So this is the time where I'm opening up the Discord for anybody that wants to call in and give me their 2 cents. For non-subscribers, it is 5 minutes. For subs, you get 10. All right? Mad Muzz, hello, welcome to the show. Ali, episode 3, Are We in a Simulation? How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, dude. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm cool. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to have Siri start the timer if you're ready. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
All right. Hey, Siri, start a timer for 5 minutes, please.
The timer is already running at 3 seconds.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Hey, it just went up. It literally just went up.
How's that apple, though?
Hey.
I bet mine could do it.
All right. Are you done? Or are you finished?
Go ahead with your show.
All right. Thank you. Hey, Siri, can you start a timer for 5 minutes, please?
5 minutes and counting.
All right. There we go. So what did you think?
Okay, so one aspect of the whole simulation thing is there's something I've been thinking about when I play The Sims, right? So, you know when you go into a room and you forget what you're supposed to do, like you go in there gonna do something, and then you forget, and then I thought like, is that like someone higher above canceling out action or something, or
they canceled a punch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, that's just like a little thing. But I do sometimes sort of just look up at the stars in the sky all the time because I just love how it looks. But also I think to myself, like, man, that just doesn't look real sometimes. I look at it, I'm like, what is that?
Okay. So what do you suppose that it is? Like, if you were to sum it up into words, like, how would you explain that? You know what I mean? Like, what is your take on it? What do you think we're in right now, if anything?
Best I can describe it is it's like a Truman Show situation where
Ooh.
it could be like a massive, dome or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced, but I'm very skeptical about it. Like,
How big do you think the
question-
dome could be?
it's got to be massive if we're able to. Well, actually, I don't know.
That's
It's
tough.
got to be big if we're like traveling from country to country. But then again, I don't know. It's a hard question. I can't. That's the thing. Like, you can never really debunk something. It's all just speculation
Mm-hmm.
based off like different things that happen in our life, and we start questioning about different things, but we can't debunk it because it's so out of there. Like, you have to be like high above. Like, same thing with the people saying the Earth is flat and stuff. It's like, at one point, I start to believe it because we've only seen the world being round from what the government shows us, what NASA shows us, what they tell us, and that's all we go off is what other people tell us.
Yeah, that's with everything, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically how we live our life. Is we believe what people tell us because we don't know anything else, and we can't prove it otherwise. Same with like belief and all that, in like religion and that. We believe it because we want to, because otherwise it seems like nothing means anything, and I think it all comes into the same playbook of like belief in different things. I don't know, honestly. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I was actually gonna ask you a follow-up question, which was so you mentioned religion. This is actually really interesting that you say that. Do you think that maybe what religion would call God could actually just be the player character, or the player of the game, so to speak?
Of course, yeah,
Man.
totally. Like, there was a video I watched of someone describing what their definition of God is, and basically it is, God is the same thing to everyone, but everyone seems to create wars and conflict over that they think that their God is the right God, but it's all the same thing. It's the same God. We all follow the same entity, but somehow we've branched out into different religions believing it's something different. Because a lot of religions believe basically in the same thing of what God is, but somehow they decide to make it some sort of conflict or whatever. But one person said, like, the universe is God. Like, everything around it, it's not just one thing that looks over us, it's the entire thing surrounding us, sort of thing.
The Force? No, low key.
Yeah.
No funny shit. Like the Force. You know
Hey,
what I mean?
why not? Yeah.
Because I don't know, man. I totally get that. Because that's kind of where I would stem my I guess belief on God from, is the fact that what I would call God is what I would basically call everything. Like, everything. You know what I mean? Simulation or not. This, to me, is God.
Yeah. Ah, damn.
No, it's all good.
I'll throw in one more thing, though. I'll throw in
Yeah. Go ahead.
Deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
What is deja vu?
Like, but I mean, I know what it is, but like, how? Like, like one time I started work at a new job I've never been at, and then I'm in a situation where I'm doing an action and there's people around me, and I suddenly get this feeling like I've done this before with these people, but I've never met these people. That's what I mean. It trips me out every time.
Want to know what I think? If it were the case, if it were a simulation, this is what I would say. It's a reboot. You know what I mean? It's when you play the same chapter again in a game.
Yeah.
That's what it would be to me. You replayed a mission.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, man.
But yeah, man, thank you for being a part of the show, man. I appreciate it. Mad Muzz, that's how you say it, right? Mad Muzz?
Yeah, Mad Muzz. Yeah.
All right, clean, man. Well, I'll see you around the Discord, right? Later episodes and shit
Definitely.
too.
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, clean.
it's awesome to see as well because I came from like a few months ago from Coffin's the channel.
Oh, you know
and you were
Minnie.
playing Far Cry 5.
Oh
when I was
my
there.
god!
Yeah.
Yeah. We were playing. Yeah. We were playing Far Cry. That shit was so fun. I need to hop on a game with her again soon. But yeah, man. Thanks for joining, bro. I really appreciate
no worries,
it. Seriously.
I love talking about this stuff, so it's awesome. I love it.
Yes. All right. Perfect. I'll see you on the next one then.
All right, man. Thanks, Catches.
All right. Deuces. Alrighty. So let's see. That was interesting. We actually ended up talking about God on that one. What do you guys think deja vu is? That's something that I kind of want to touch on later on at some point. Maybe we'll ask it in an AI episode. What is deja vu? I feel like new game plus. Oh my god. Because maybe like if we are in a simulation, then the deja vu idea would actually be really interesting at that point. It'd be really interesting. But yeah, we got next in line Super Duper Kellogg. Super Duper Kellogg is a beloved person that has always been around for a while. I really appreciate the guy. Glad to see that he's here. Let's see what he has to say. Super Duper Kellogg, welcome to the stream. ALE episode 3. Are we living in a simulation? Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm all right, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling, bro. I'm about to have Siri start the timer. You know what I'm saying? It's already. She's not gonna give me no flack this time.
She might.
Let's see. Wait. Oh, I can just start it manually. I looked and I was being lazy and I just unlocked the phone and it was there. All right.
That's wild.
You ready?
Ready.
Hello. Thank you for the follow.
Hey, thanks for the follow, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. Your timer starts now.
All right. So I think when I first joined in, you were asking about exactly what the simulation is and what it could mean. And my first thing I was typing out before I decided is to jump in here. I believe that with as a species, the capacity that our brain has, it will only allow us to see a certain level of what is actually real, or make us perceive what is real.
Go on.
So same with optical illusions. I think the first guy was talking about it with his eyes are real or not. Optical illusions can make you think you see what you see, but that's just the mental capacity that our brain will allow us, quote unquote, to see.
I'm just. By the way, I'm just gonna let you go, and then let me know when you're done. I'm listening.
All right. Yeah, I'm just rambling at this point because this has been a while since I've done this.
Okay, go ahead.
But that's pretty much just it's a mental thing, capacity. Like that movie, Lucy. I never seen it, but I've heard that the more percentage of your brain you could actually use, the more reality got bent to your will. And with that being the power or whatever, the whole simulation starts to break down, and you begin to plug in the second controller. You become player two.
Okay.
You become player two.
Ready Player 2.
Exactly.
Okay. So here, I'll give you my 2 cents on that.
Right.
So when it comes to Lucy, there's okay, so for people that don't know, the concept of Lucy is there's this woman that gets injected with like this mystery drug that basically allows you to unlock percentages of your brain, and she basically overdoses on it and she becomes like ridiculously OP. But the only problem with Lucy was the fact that the science behind it wasn't necessarily true, because you don't like just stop using a certain percentage of your brain. You actually use a lot of different parts of your brain. But you are absolutely spot on when it comes to the perception. That's what I think is the real like key here, because it's often said that reality is perception, right? So if you were able to perceive things completely differently, or perceive more things than what a average human brain could, because it's obvious that we can't see everything. There's a lot of things that we need tools to see, like infrared, you know. If we were able to tap into these different elements of reality that our brain can't currently understand because of biology, that would be like bridging the gap between human and superhuman. And you're absolutely right. It'd be like you would basically have more control, more say in so-called reality at that point.
It's like I think I read it somewhere that your brain takes in thousands of information a second. Every color, every smell, every shape. Like your brain picks and
always doing
chooses what
stuff.
it wants you to know. But
It's a filter.
If you took in every bit of information you saw just by looking at your computer screen, like the colors, the shapes, the icons, you would have a mental breakdown right there on the spot.
Oh, absolutely. It's like looking into the eyes of God. That's what it would be described as in the Bible. Like, people would literally drop dead if they looked at God directly. And that's like I know I use like religious metaphors a lot and like, you know, religious stuff a lot, but like it kind of correlates with what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you look at it in that light, it starts to make more sense. You know, it starts to make a lot more sense. Because if you considered, you know, God as reality itself, like unfiltered reality, trying to experience that in a human mind, well, sensory overload. You know, I wouldn't imagine anything less than death, to be honest. But, you know, what do you think? Like, do you think, like, for example, if you took, like, some kind of substance, hypothetically, do you think that would change your view of reality as you know it?
I won't
By
say it
the way,
would
this
change
is-
it. I would say it would enhance what I see. I will be able to understand things a bit more.
Oh,
you know?
that's it. Crap. Well, okay, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your sentence. And last
Just like,
statements.
I had like a question.
Okay.
It had to do with reality and perception.
Okay.
Me and you, two different humans, two different people on different parts of the U.S. I have this thought a lot when I stare into the mirror. I'm me. I see, think, smell, hear, taste what I do. But there are other people who do the same thing as I do, but they do it differently. What do they see that I don't see?
You want to know my answer to that?
What's that?
I have no idea. And I'll tell you why. Because as far as I know, my green could be your yellow.
Green.
My blue could be your red. You know what I'm saying? We could see things completely differently, but agree on what we call it.
Right. Taste things like describing taste has become difficult to me now.
Try describing colors to a blind person. How do you describe colors at all? That's my question for you. Explain reality by describing what a color is to somebody.
And there it goes. The question that really needs to be answered.
Yeah, holy crap, dude.
Describing perception.
Describe perception. How? But yeah, man. Shoot. Thank you for joining, bro. Like, this is really dope.
Hey, I've always wanted to talk about this because I need an outlet. You give me the outlet. So appreciate you having me. Appreciate you for even having this series going.
Bro, thank you, man. Guys, I'm so happy, bro. All right, sorry. I'm cheesing on. I need to stop. All right. Professional. Kellogg, thank you for joining us today on the show. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one, man.
All right. See y'all later.
All right, deuces. Guys, I'm cheesing on camera. I need to stop. God dang it. All right. So, yeah, that was a really good point that was brought up. We all see things completely differently. Wow. This show is amazing, guys. I'm really happy about this. I'm happy that I started doing this, man. Because, like, knowing that you guys have an outlet too is dope. And it doesn't feel like I have to sit and come up with ideas for content all the time, because, like, We are the content. You know what I mean? And all it does is it just starts off with a question. Excuse me. I got my protein shake right here. But up next, we got Shepard Free. This is the man right here. You know what I'm saying? Commander Shepard, welcome to the show. What's good? Ali episode 3.
Ali, bro, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm Gucci, bro. Man, listen, guys. I just want to let y'all know this dude Shepard's been on each episode so far. Crazy awesome guy, man. Thank you for being here, bro.
Like I said last time, thank you for doing it.
You ready, bro?
Yep.
All right. Are we living in a simulation? Timer starts now. Go.
And I was thinking about something earlier. I was looking at the news and just all the horrible stuff that's going on right now. And, you know, you think back through human history, and there's just always been evidence of just, you know, the mass genocide and people just being awful to each other and whatever. And, you know, you think back, you know, like in the late 80s and 90s, we started making our own little video games and stuff like that. And some of them had, you know, just extreme violence in them.
Right.
So then something bad would happen in the world, you know, like there'd be a shooting or something like that. And then you'd have some stuffy politician saying, well, it's the violent video games that's causing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if we're a simulation, aren't we just, you know, creating these games like in the image that we were created in for our simulation, you know?
Yo, hold on a second, fam. I gotta hit you with the applause for that one. Yo, why does this always? Okay, I'm sorry, but I gotta say it one more time. This always goes back to religion, bro. Cause you know how they say we were made in His image, bro.
That's the point. Yes.
That is, wow. Hold on, I'm gonna throw some Ali Ewoke in here. Ali the Ewoke in chat. But yeah, dude, I have to say, I didn't really think about it that way until now. Wow, actually, damn, I'm kind of hard pressed on that one. Is there any way that you could elaborate more if you have any more to say on that? Because I actually kind of want to listen now. I want to hear.
Really, I mean, like I said, it was just like a little thing I've been kind of thinking about today because I knew this episode was coming up, so I already had that on the simulation hypothesis on the brain.
If we were made in God's image, if God was a programmer, does that mean he's violent too? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like this simulation is like the Grand Theft Auto of whatever world this, you know, simulation was created from.
So do you? Oh God, are you peeing?
That wasn't.
Oh,
I need more wine for that one.
He poured some wine over.
Otia tried to set me up, man.
But I was gonna ask. Oh crap! I kind of forgot now. Oh, I was gonna ask.
Wow.
So, do you think at core reality is violent in nature, or have humans, or have?
Hey, I lost you on audio. I don't know.
Way? Oh, me? Hello? No. Shepard! Oh, rip. Oh, man. I think Shepard's gone, you guys. Oh, man. Shepard, no. He lost audio, guys. He lost. Rip Shepard, man. Rip. Okay, so he lost audio. I'm gonna tell him to just restart his Discord. But let's talk about what he said for a minute.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me? No, he can't hear me. Damn. That's crazy. Hello? Okay. Well, look. Let's talk about what he said at least. Shepard, listen, if you're hearing me right now, restart Discord when you can. But he had a really good point. And it was something that I didn't really kind of think about until now, like I mentioned before. The fact that, yes, violent things happen, terrible things happen all the time. And it's interesting because we emulate it in the games that we create and stuff like that. And, you know, people want to blame the games for said violence. But in the great words of a great song, we didn't start the fire.
Hey, you there?
Hello? Shepard?
Wait, Shepard, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I guess you can't hear Ali. Ali, it's you.
How,
Yeah.
Sway?
I don't know, man. You should go out and come back in.
You can hear me though.
I know, but
It's all.
All right, hold on. Hello?
Oh, he didn't hear it. He didn't hear me say it.
Hello?
Hey.
It's all a simulation.
Oh, shut up. The timer's been going, but here, we'll put it at like 3 minutes to make it fair. Is that all right?
Oh, I mean that's fine. I mean, like I said, that was really like all I was thinking about. So
Okay.
unless you've got like more, you want to
I wanted to ask you
talk
something.
it out a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. What's up?
So this is what I want to ask you. Seeing the fact that this most likely is all in a simulation, and that there is terrible shit that happens all the time, right?
Yep.
Do you think that means we're sort of doomed to live in a hellish world of violence? Are we in the game Doom, or are we in The Sims? You know what I'm saying?
It kind of
That's the
falls
question.
into other kind of philosophy, I think. But you start looking at like reincarnation, or are we just all one? Like one thing, kind of like experiencing this whole world through different characters.
Mm-hmm.
And say like when we die, do we have like a respawn timer and we come back later, like in
Switch
a
perspectives?
next generation? Yeah, so that's that I'm not sure about.
Maybe that should be the next question.
I have thought about it a lot, but yeah, like I don't know, I'm not sure.
Damn, bro. Okay. Here's my last question for you then.
Okay.
Are you happy with the simulation that you're in? Assuming that we're in one. Do you like this game?
Not at all right now, no.
I feel
Or
like
I will say very little.
very little.
Like 2 out of 10.
That's a question I have for the chat too. Do you like this game that you're in right now? And if so, how can we get better at it? That's my question. But yeah,
Can
man.
we get better at it?
Can we get better at it? That's it. Oh shit. All right.
There
that's
she
it.
is.
All right. Well, Shepard, listen, man. Thank you so much for being here. I know the simulation tried to shut us down, but the revolution will be televised. All right, let me stop.
All right, brother.
All right,
Get that
man.
next call wrong.
All right, got you, man. Thanks for calling in, man.
Yep, later.
All right, guys. Yeah, man. Are we in a simulation? I'd have to argue yes. As far as I'm concerned, this whole world is imagined. And I think that's kind of beautiful, actually. I want to write a book. All right, we got the next caller coming up. Kenna is up next. Welcome to the show, Kenna. How are you doing? Ali, episode 3, are we in a simulation? What's good?
Hello, is this thing on?
It sure
Huh?
is.
Go, get your notepads ready.
All right. Oh,
yes,
wait, he gonna drop some knowledge. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get that. Okay. All right, here we go. 5 minutes. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. What you got?
We're definitely living in a simulation. Coming down that the universe and the world can be written down into a math. So there's this thing called the golden ratio. If you notice, the golden ratio, it can be broken down into a mathematical sort of like line found in nature. It's used in design. It has so much organic stuff. It's really like aesthetically pleasing to the eye as well. It's like you can look at the spirals in the universe, the flowers on the ground and everything, the clouds in the sky, all that goes down to the golden ratio, which is basically a line that is divided into 2 parts, and it is divided by the small part and gets divided down into
Divided.
which both will equal a number close to 1.618, and all of that goes to show is like it's all a part of the same sort of system. Like some architect put that there, and whoever created it applied it to everything just to make things like simple. And it's like you can find the golden ratio in everything. You can find it in somebody's eye, on somebody's face, from the pyramids of Giza to like Mona Lisa to everything. Like I said, flowers, spirals in the universe, Milky Way. It's there, and it just says that like, yeah, we definitely live in a simulation.
I was just gonna add that we actually learn about that in art class. That's one of the key things that we learn about, the golden ratio to phi ratio, whatever it is. You know, we learn about it as a fundamental rule for composing anything. That's actually how this entire stream is laid out. Like this uses the golden ratio. I'm in 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. There's like, you know what I mean? Like everything's sort of divided in this very particular way. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, it's like it goes to further prove the point. It's like you can find it in anything. Coming down to what you talked about before was like our perception of our reality comes down to like who runs the simulation. Do we have the power? Do we run the simulation, or is there some sort of outside power? And I guess it just comes down to perception. And it's like, if all you see is hatred, death, and suffering in your perception, that's all you're gonna see. That's all you're gonna know. That's all your reality is gonna be. But if you flip your perception and change it to something that is more adequate for like loving life and living here and being in this world, then you're gonna be living in a blissful state. I'm actually kind of like happy with like how my life is going and like how my simulation is running, because I just changed my perception and my reality on what's going on. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let things beat me down, even though other people have it better and other people have it worse. And it depends on what scale you are at. And on to the next point is like, if we live in a simulation, how do we leave the simulation? Just like kind of like in the Matrix was Morpheus unplugged this dude, Neo, out of the simulation. It's like, how do we leave? And it made me think of an out-of-body experience. There's this thing called astral projection, where you basically have a forced, where you basically have a forced out-of-body experience, where you're able to basically leave your body and see what's outside of this world. And you can possibly travel far enough where you can see what's outside of this universe and go beyond the stretches of our imagination. And it's like, okay, what's really out there? Is there nothing? Is there everything? How do we get there? And what can we do to get ourselves out of the simulation? Which kind of makes me think of like, do we like living here? Do we like the pain that sometimes our reality can give us? Do we like the hard work instead of like already like having that? Like, man, like I can leave at any time. Like, why don't we just leave?
Imagine if you could have anything you wanted at any time.
Yeah. And it's like thinking that like we probably have that power already to be like, yo, I want this, that, and the other right now. Like that's what it is. And making me think about like, yeah, how do we get out of this simulation if it's so shitty? And how do we change it other than changing our perception of things?
So here's my question for you. First of all, I want to say that was an excellent answer. I'm gonna give you the explosion, and I'm gonna give you the Ali the ewoke emotes. The timer's done, but I want to ask you one follow-up question. So when you say, can we escape the simulation, right? My question for you is, well, even if you could, even if you did, right? How do you know what you escape into isn't just another simulation? Because that's the first thing that came to my mind when I watched The Matrix. I thought, wait a minute, how do we know that that's the real world? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the truth is, if you can simulate reality, that means that most, like I'm talking most, like 99.999% of reality is simulated. So that would mean there would be layers and layers, maybe an infinite amount of layers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's
how
like-
do you know?
I guess it's just like it comes down to everything and is an illusion. We're just at one little singular part of that illusion, and it's like busting through all those layers. It's like we can go to, if this is our current reality, and being like, oh, if we dip into another reality that's one that is all peaceful and harmonious and like all blissful and stuff, we're like, oh, okay, this is just another simulation, this is just another illusion. And it's like, how many states do we have to get to before we get to the real deal? Or do we go the opposite direction instead of going like to different simulations? What if we went back inside ourselves? Like I like thinking subatomic inside of ourselves, where it all there is just what we basically turn into the code. Essentially, we turn into the math. We turn into
The information. We become pure information again.
We turn pure information. We turn atomic and stuff. And go on what Foxy said is like, what if suicide was us choosing to quit the, I feel like you'd end up back
Opting
where
out.
you started. You'd be opting out, or you'd end up be like, nope, you got to try again. Basically, that's a game over. You didn't learn enough. I feel like we came here to learn something, and I feel like suicide, you didn't learn anything. So you're gonna have to choose your own reality. And definitely, suicide is definitely not the choice to be making when you have the power to definitely choose what you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I have.
I was just gonna say I really admire your optimism, because that's something that I can definitely tell just from hearing your response to the question. It's like you're very optimistic about the outcome, and also the power that you have over your own reality, which personally I that's my personal philosophy as well, where while you may not have full control like God or something, you can control what happens in your reality.
Yeah.
This
you
reality
control
may
how you
not be
respond.
real. You know what I mean? Like, none of this could be real. Sure. Let's say this is all simulated, but how you interpret it, that's all up to you.
Definitely. And it's like if you treat it like it's a simulation, if you treat it like it's a video game, think about it. What do we play video games for? We play video games to have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just need to have fun. We need to not take things too seriously and just like do our thing.
Damn.
It's like, yo, if we got the cheat codes, to be like, yo, I'm gonna put
Give me the Konami code to life real quick, my guy.
2 up, 2 down, left, right, BA, start, and I just got a sandwich. I got a helicopter. I'm living life like amazing, like whatever. It's like definitely. I feel like this simulation. If it's a video game's got cheat codes. A video game's got a console command. Like it's something all you gotta do is find.
There's loopholes. You can find something
Oh,
more.
hell yeah.
Man, I feel you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you for calling in, man. This was such a good episode, man. This would not be shit without y'all, man. Seriously. So thank you guys for calling. Like, thank you too. Like, for real. You got the Ali Ewoke emote.
Hey.
But yeah, man. All right, I'll holler at you. But yeah, thanks for calling in, dog. Seriously. Alrighty. Guys, wait. I think Mad Muzz is still in there. Mad Muzz? I don't know if Mad Muzz is it. Hello? Is he? Did you want to be on again?
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah. Like, what's up, man?
He's like, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Welcome back to the ALE episode 3.
Thank you.
Are we in a simulation? You get a round 2? Do you want a round 2? This is going to be the last one. So,
yes, I just it's too much things going into my head. It's crazy.
All right, so here we go. Timer starts now. Boom, what you got?
So when someone mentioned the whole, if you take a substance, your reality sort of changes. I've met people I'm friends with people who have done that. They've told stories, and it's always like dark stories. Obviously, when people take drugs, it's a dark path to go down. But they always have the same story in which, when they do take the substance, they always see something else. Like, and afterwards, the aftermath. I've heard one of my friends. He said that he starts seeing like some weird images, like almost ghost-like type things. Like he sees an entity in which he calls like the horned devil, meaning like so, because that's what he saw. He saw like a man with a beard with hooves, sort of like the devil, but he saw him and he freaked out, and he saw it as clear as like day, like it was there. And stuff like that always happens to him, like things he can't explain. Like ghosts, for instance. Like some people think ghosts might just be like, okay, it's a spirit that has unfinished business or whatever, who died. But what if, like in the whole simulation aspect, it's something else bleeding through the system?
A
glitch or
layer that
something.
you weren't supposed to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's
I
so
feel
many
that.
stories
I feel
about
that.
people seeing ghosts and seeing like their dead, like grandma or grandpa or family member or whatever. There's so many. I've met people who've told me so specifically what happened. You know, they wake up one night, they see this person clear as day. You know, they turn on the light, they see it. It's like, well, what if that simulation is the code is still there? Like it didn't get deleted completely once they died.
Ooh, I actually hadn't thought about it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's explore this a little bit, right? So I was watching an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a very science guy. He doesn't believe in ghosts or anything like that, but what he says is, you know, bring me the proof and I'll believe it then, right?
Yeah.
But I guess my whole thing is like this. I don't necessarily ask for proof of what people experience because I can't prove my own experiences. You know what I mean? The same way that when I recall a memory, the only way I can prove that it happened is by telling you about it. I can't prove that when I was a kid, I threw up on my granny's carpet, but I can tell you about it because it was my experience, you know?
Yeah.
And so when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to ghosts, when it comes to aliens or sightings and stuff like that, I try to refrain from saying, you know what, you're wrong because that doesn't exist. Because the truth is, like I said, reality is perception. If you saw it, that was part of your reality. You know what I'm saying? And who am I to say what is or isn't there to you? You know? And I feel like that's not my place to say. But I would honestly love if something like that were to get caught on tape. I wish. I really wish. Do you think it'll ever happen?
Like what, ghosts and that?
Yeah, like an actual ghost, like being put on the news, like, oh my God, we actually got one in HD. You know what I'm saying? In 4K.
Well, yeah, because I mean, look, like there is, you know, pictures and videos on YouTube, and I love watching that sort of stuff, like conspiracy theories and whatnot. But that's the thing with video and seeing it in real life with your own eyes. Like, yeah, what we perceive is different to each person. But like, if we take it with video is basically just a digital device that can be manipulated later on. Anyway, so I can't really believe everything unless I see it myself. For sure, like on video, yeah, it can look real, but that's the technology we have these days.
I feel you.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, it's easy to say that things are documented when reality they could have just been touched up later on. And I don't know. I feel like with life, you just sort of never know these things for sure, but it's really interesting to talk about. I really love to talk about stuff like this. I used to love ghosts, man. Like, for real, I used to be so into that stuff, dude. Like, oh my God. But yeah, I'd be at like cemeteries and all that junk. But oh shit, you have one. Oh, never mind, it's done. But, do you have any closing statements?
I mean, Just more questions, man. Like just like, I'll say one thing, one added thing. When it comes to, I feel like I connect more with spirituality, so like chi and all that sort of thing, and meditating than anything else. You know, I've gone to other religion and I've gone to other things, and I could never find a purpose or whatever. But the spirituality seems to connect with me the most. So that's another thing. When people are awoken by, like, some people, you know, they open the third eye sort of thing.
Dude, sorry, go ahead.
I have a well, he's not my friend anymore, but he's a guy that you know, he's taken drugs and all that. But he told me one night he's opened his third eye, and he's like telling me, don't open your third eye, it's not worth the reality that you see, because he sees some messed up shit.
Yep, I know
Like,
exactly what you're talking about.
Some people can't handle the reality they see once their third eye opens, sort of thing.
What happens is you lose it's ego death. You lose your sense of self. Like you see something and you can't go back. That's sort of what happens to people that describe opening their third eye for the first time. And yeah, it's wild, dude. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, man. Seriously, thank you for calling in again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm
input is
always up for a
always
chat.
dope. Yeah, yo, listen, bro. Sorry, it's gonna be more of this stuff, man. Next Thursday, you know what I'm saying? We got one more on the line, but thank you, Mad Muzz. I gotta stop saying Muzz.
You can just call me.
Mad?
Muzz. Muzz.
Muzz?
Is fun.
All right,
Yeah,
Muzz. I'll catch you later.
Thanks, man.
Deuces,
Okay.
man.
Peace.
All right, we got one more. Let's see if this dude actually has something to say, or if he's gonna troll me yet again. We're bringing Otia on the line. Greetings, Otia. Welcome to the ALE Show, episode 3. Are we in a simulation? Hello.
Hey, Bixby, set a timer for 5 minutes.
Oh, a little slow there, huh, buddy?
Alrighty. I had it prepared, man. All right. Okay. So let me set that timer. No, I do have some real questions.
All right. Let's go.
All right. So I'm gonna be the person that kind of takes what you're thinking about and turn it around on you.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's go.
All right.
This is a
So-
good way to end it.
When you think about all the people that have come in here and suggested that you're in a simulation, you're in a video game, everything like that. Now, being a game developer, you know that video games have a user that puts input in. You understand that the character has no decision whatsoever. We are just a series of numbers.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that you do, everything that you aspire to be, everything that you try to seek out as goals, those are just input numbers, correct?
I like.
Do I perceive this goal? 1. Do I perceive this goal? 0. So when you start to think about the reality of a simulation, is everything that you do even matter? Because at the end of the day, you have no control over it.
I'm sorry. This is perfect. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay. So, this is going to go back to Sam Harris. I have big respect for that guy. I'm gonna link the video that I'm talking about in particular, where he talks about free will. It's like, I'm gonna link you like the 8-minute version and the hour-long version, where he just fully like talks about it. But honestly, I feel like whether we're living in a simulation or not, right? You can see it both ways. I feel like it's both. As weird as that sounds, I feel like it matters and it doesn't matter, depending on which side of the coin you want to see, you know? Because it can be heads or it can be tails, but it's still a coin. And I guess the coin is just what I would call reality itself. And one side would be matters, the other side would be it doesn't matter. I like to look at the side where I say, yeah, it does matter, but I also acknowledge that I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna die. One day my life is gonna be over. as far as I know, and I'm probably not going to get a second shot at this. So I figure while I'm here, regardless of if I even have control over this or not, I might as well really try to enjoy the ride while I'm here. Because, you know, why not, I guess. I think that's the only justification that I have, to be real. I just find it a lot more fun to be, I guess, optimistic about it, and to maybe, even if I don't have control, just have fun with it. Like a game, you know? Or maybe even like a movie if I don't have control. Maybe this has all been pre-scripted. I don't know. I really think about that sometimes.
That's
dude.
exactly where I wanted you to go.
I really think about that. Like, this could be one really dope cutscene, bro.
So, based off everything that's been said today and everybody's opinions, you can assume that every single thing that people have said today, every single thing that you have said, every single thing that you have set up for today has all been predetermined.
Yep.
Has all been put in a tree of decision where if in the simulation you have one person deciding, well, what do I want to do with this? It's fucking a Mass Effect game, dude.
Wow. And who's Commander Shepard? Or who's playing Commander Shepard, actually?
I am.
Oh! Game over. That's when it goes like wasted.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yo, that actually scared me. Oh, I guess, yes, man. God is a woman indeed. I knew it. Was that Siri?
Basically.
Oh my God. What do you think? I'm curious to know what you think, actually. Do you think this is simulated? Because by the way, Otio works in games too. You know, I want to throw that out there. And he's a really great coach. If you guys want gaming lessons on how to become great at Overwatch or For Honor, hit him up. He charges $50 a month. All right.
Oh.
That's it. You're not getting out of this.
I'm sorry. Isn't he a sub? Doesn't he get 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, you do. You want to take that extra 5 real quick to answer your question?
Sure. All right.
Hey, cool. All right. There we go. Bonus round. OTO strikes back. Let's go.
So, all right. Here are my thoughts.
Okay.
I feel like if we, as a human race, believe that we have no absolute input, we would be shells. We would literally do the day-to-day grind, which is something that you can look at. You can look at some people who may not have broken out of a simulation, may not have broken out of their routine, where they can only go from the bed to the shower to work, back to bed, and repeat the cycle. There are
NPCs,
people
dog.
that there are people that can only do those things every day, and that is how they get by. But then there are people that do that but step outside of the normal day-to-day. There are people that continue to go on and strive for different goals. There are people that continue to reach for different things. Now, am I saying it's a simulation? No, not necessarily. If you want to break it down to a simple idea that it is simulation, you can. But I think it is more so the evolution of something. And you can say the evolution of a simulation. It's a STEM. It's a STEM beyond what a normal person or robot could do. It's like the theme of iRobot. You know, you have robots that evolve. You have
Ghost
the
in the
first
Shell
gen. You
type
have
stuff.
yeah. You have first gen, second gen, third gen, and then you have those that go beyond. Those that are supposed to be first gen but can perform outside of their generation. That's why we classify human beings by their generation. That's exactly why we classify it. Is one generation different from the other? Do we have evolution in this generation? Do we see different comparisons? If you compared our generation to the next generation, you would see a difference because they are more wired into electronics than we are. If we compare
They're born into it.
They're born into it. If we compare backwards, we are the baby boomers, the ones right before us. They're people that were born into hard work, labor, things like that. They were born away from the electronic age. They had to adapt to it. We were a generation that literally had to take what was being new and learn it. So we are a learning generation. So we are the learning bots. We're the people that can go into the library, learn everything, come back out and tell you how it works.
Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I had to hit you with the DJ horn and the explosion and the Ali the Ewok, man. That was hot, bro. I'm sorry. Did you have anything more to say? I didn't mean to. I just got hype.
I mean, I just want people to think outside of just like, I know a lot of people came in here and they kind of like stemmed off of each other saying, simulation. Well, why don't you start thinking about how that applies to our, a more grandiose idea of our generations are literally different subsections of human being.
How we evolved in this simulation, so to speak, how it affects us. Dang, that was good, man. What the heck?
I'm only one bottle of wine in.
Hey, look at that, man. I'm ready for 2, bro.
2, we might open up my 4th eye.
Oh, bro. It's in the back of his head, like. Oh my gosh, dude, man, freaking thank you, bro.
Yeah, of course, man.
That was a great finisher. And yep, we just gonna pour one out for the homies tonight. That's what we doing. But yeah, man, do you have anything else that you want to add? Or?
No, I think everybody had. I think everybody. Oh, shout out to Foxy for this wine. But I think that everybody had really great ideas. I think that you guys all have come up with ideas that think beyond what normal people do think about. You can compare A and B to someone that doesn't really think outside the box, and to chats like this, you're thinking beyond your own person. So kudos to everybody.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate everybody in this audience, man. They're very open-minded and just, I don't know, man. Like, I thought I would be alone in this, to be real. So it's just good to know that, like, that's not the case. Like, there's people that have a desire to know, that have a desire to learn more and to think more critically and more just analyze and question things. Because it's easy to sort of go along with the status quo, but like when you really start to question the reality that you're in, you can start opening your mind to a lot of different possibilities, man. I believe that. And yeah, that's it, bro. Freaking thank you. All right, I'm about to close things off, man. Later, bro.
All right, bye.
Guys, that was an excellent episode today. Wow. You guys are amazing, man. I am so happy to see these kind of minds on this platform. And the fact that this content can go from Twitch to YouTube to SoundCloud, I want to rip the MP3s and put them on SoundCloud too, so they can be like podcasts that you can listen to in your car or something. But yeah, man, I'm really happy about this show. I just wanted you guys to understand that. And that's also like one of the most important things too, is that like I want you guys to know that I want you guys to speak, speak your piece, because I'm not gonna judge you for what you gotta say. I'm just gonna ask you questions about it, So, yeah, man. With that being said, that has been episode 3 of AI. Are we in a simulation? If you're watching this on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Comment below what you think. Go ahead and answer the question yourself. I'd love to see your replies. And shucks, Chuck, I guess we have to name off the next episode. Chat, we got any ideas for the next episode? All right, so it looks like chat has decided on the next question for episode 4. All right, question for episode 4, Thursday, 8 p.m. PST. Why is there so much discourse in the black community? This has been Ali the Prodigy, and I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you, and man, I'm happy that you're here, for real. So thank you for being here. This has been AI, episode 3. We in the place to be. I gotta go pee. And that's it. Goodbye.